Hey guys, it's Pokemon Dragon here, and this time I am bringing you the Eeveelutions again. However, this video will instead of the design, instead of what they're ranked by design in my opinion, and this time it is my personal favorites. So the design will not have anything to do with any of these rankings. Um, Again, you feel free to put your own favorites in the comment section, and I really would like to see what you guys think of the Eeveelutions. So feel free to do so. So just remember that these are my personal favorites, and these do not have to be the same as yours, and that is why it is okay for you to, that is why I want you guys to put your own favorites in the comment section below. So, guess we could just get started. So on this video, you'll notice that all of these Pokemon are mostly like in the same range. Like I don't have any really high up rankings for Eeveelutions, because normally by the time you get an Eevee, I have already stopped getting new Pokemon. The only exception was with Pokemon X, when I got an Eevee when you go near Geoscience Town. But the problem is that by that time I already had like 10-15 Pokemon I was training, so I only really picked up Pokemon if and only if they were like good natures or stuff, because you can't exactly IV train or EV train during the story. So I did end up with some pretty good EVs, but I just didn't feel like using stones and stuff to train them, so I didn't really train any of them, which is why I do not normally end up training any of these Pokemon, and that is why none of these Eeveelutions really stand out to me. So we can just get started, and let me make sure I don't mess up again. I think it's 9 of them. So in 9th place is Leafeon. And just remember that although this is not the design contest, design does come in when there is like 2 Pokemon of equal rankings. So when so obviously the Pokemon with less designs, or not as good designs, will probably be still on the bottom. So that is why Leafeon is on the bottom. If you have seen my other video, that the other Eeveelution one, the design one, you will notice that Leafeon, I did not really have a high opinion of Leafeon, and because I've never used him or really seen him in battle or stuff, I never really got any attachment to Leafeon. And so yeah, that is why. For Leafeon, when I battled her, like I mostly used, I don't know, physical attacks, even though her base defense is 130. So I have no idea, but I was always able to 1-hit KO her, and yeah, that's why I don't really have a high opinion of Leafeon. And it also does not look that great in my opinion. So that is Leafeon. Coming in at number 8 is Glaceon. Now this is the other Pokemon that was introduced at the same time as Leafeon, and this is Glaceon. And the reason why I don't like Glaceon is just because it is at the same level as some of the other Pokemon, but because of its design, it was put a little closer to the bottom. So I feel that I may not have to go through this, but but it is basically the same reasons as Leafeon, except I still think that it is pretty good Pokemon, pretty usable. It can learn Ice Shard, so it could definitely like be that annoying Shard Pokemon because you cannot outspeed much. So that's Glaceon. Continuing on, I think the next one is uh 7th place. 7th place is Eevee. The only reason why Eevee wasn't lower, because Eevee's stats like are really bad. It only has these are base stats by the way. It only has 55 HP, a 55 attack, 50 defense, 45 special attack, special defense, 65 and speed 55 for a total of 325. That is kind of not very good at all. So the only reason why Eevee is up here is because Glaceon and Leafeon's designs brought them down, and then it can evolve into all of these other Pokemon, just as I said on the last video. Otherwise, I do not have a really high opinion of Eevee. It's mostly just like I don't know, I don't really have a high opinion of most of the, if they're not final evolved. So that's kind of because they don't look good, or well, they look good, but like they don't look like formidable. They don't, So yeah, that kind of thing. So in 3rd place, no, 4th place, no, 5th place. Sorry, in 5th place is Jolteon and Vaporeon. Now Jolteon, we'll just start with Jolteon. I always thought he was pretty good. These are his base stats, but he's got a 130 speed and a 110 special attack, which is pretty good for speedy sweeping. But I always just thought he was pretty cool looking, and his design doesn't break him down. And then also he can learn like thunder and stuff. And I never really thought he was like bad or anything. I just never used him because you need to use a thunderstone and stuff. That's the only reason why I never used these Eeveelutiions. Because what were the chances that you didn't end up with a thunderstone that early in the game? Because basically once I got an Eevee, I just wanted to evolve it like right away. Because the moves that Eevee has, in my opinion, aren't that great. I mean, it's got like Helping Hand, I guess. Can learn Baton Pass, which is pretty good too. But I don't really think any of these guys are Baton Passers. And I don't really think there's anything else. But yeah, that is why I like Jolteon. But for Vaporeon, it has HP of 130, which I'm not really sure if that's that great. Well, I mean, it's good. That's his best stat, but they could have like made speed higher or something. Speed is 95, so it's not like terrible. And his special attack is 110. So Vaporeon's stats, in my opinion, are not as good as Jolteon's. Because of obviously I don't think it's spread as well. But I really like his design as well. And again, basically all the same reasons as Jolteon. Next up on the list is 4th with Espeon. Espeon is the psychic type one. Maybe it's kind of obvious because he's pink, but whatever. And this time, instead of special attack of 110 and speed of 130, Espeon's is the opposite, with a special attack of 130 and a speed of 110. So that is still very fast and very strong. But that was a weird sound. I have no idea what just happened. But yeah. Anyways, So, yeah, it can learn Morning Sun, which is really annoying when he's just like soothing you and you barely get him down to red, and then all of a sudden you use Morning Sun, and then you're like, right? But its defenses are not that great. I mean, it's only 60 and 95. So if you just use like physical moves, like a bug or something, should be able to get Espeon down. But I really admire Money's psychic types because I always thought that psychic types are pretty strong. Like, just look at Alakazam. I mean, Alakazam is just like really good. So yeah, psychic types usually come higher on the lists. Usually. Or sometimes. Not all the times, because I do have some psychic types I hate, like Mr. Mime. But, yeah. Moving on. In third place is Sylveon. This is the new fairy type Pokemon. And the only reason why it's on here instead of down with Glaceon is that I really hated battling it with was it Valerie? New gym leader, I think it's Valerie, fairy type one. And the only thing that well, if you'll notice that all the Pokemon, I know most people's favorites list has all the Pokemon that they've been beaten by at the very bottom, or even on the top 10, like I hate you list, you know. But for me, I think it's kind of cool how this Pokemon is able to beat my team. So I always put them on top because it seems that it shows that they're pretty good, I guess. So Sylveon, that is the only reason why Sylveon's higher. It's because of Valerie's Sylveon in the Battle Chateau. I just started. It was pretty good. It was able to like. I don't know. I was battling with my Steelix versus them, and they managed to survive for a pretty long time. So that is why Sylveon is higher. Sylveon can take Valerie for, or maybe I brought in really low level Pokemon there, so maybe that's why. But anyways, moving on to number 2 is Flareon. Flareon is the fire one, and this time it has 130 attack and the 110 special defense. And the reason why Flareon is not with Jolteon and Vaporeon, who are in 5th place, I think. The reason why it's not there is because I actually use Flareon sometimes in Pokemon Explorers of Sky. Awesome game, by the way. But yeah, I use Flareon there, so that is pretty. I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, I used a lot of Pokemon there, so can't exactly say it. But I didn't use it most of the other evolutions there. That was weird again. Just keep doing that. Anyways, but I mean, I have Leafeon and Glaceon and Jolteon, but they're all like level 15. So Flareon's the only one that's like level 50 or something in that game for me. So yeah, I don't have Espeon. I do have Umbreon as well, but no, I don't usually use it. So that is why Flareon is there instead of 5th place. Number 1 is Umbreon, the dark type evolution. As I mentioned before, I did use him in Explorers of Sky, because I recruited him from like Concealed Ruins or something. So I did use him. He's very defensive with 130 special defense and 110 defense. However, that is not very good if you're trying to sweep. So he's not a very good sweeper, I think. Don't ask me. I don't know anything about this kind of competitive battling stuff, you know. So, but what I really hated was in Platinum or Diamond, I don't remember, where you have that Umbreon, right? It uses Toxic on you. After Toxic, it uses Detect. After Detect, it uses Moonlight and Confuse Ray. Now I think this is what Lucian does, or he just sweeps you. But a very good Umbreon set would be Toxic Moonlight, Detect, or Protect. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. And then Confuse Ray. And you could just constantly send in Toxic, and then just when you're about to die, you you use Moonlight. You Confuse Ray them, they'll keep hitting themselves and keep getting hit by Toxic. And then Detect will give you extra turns on which to battle. I've seen that this Umbreon set is really good. It's kind of similar to like a Meganium, where it uses Leech Seed Synthesis, that kind of junky, annoying stuff. So that is definitely a good set to use for Umbreon, and that about sums it up. So, thanks for watching, guys. Put your favorites on the bottom, and then again, you can also put what you would like for me to make next. Maybe top 10 baby Pokemon or something. I don't know, but I'm not even sure if there's 10 baby Pokemon out there. I'm sure there is, but. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and like this video, and thanks a lot.